Hello, everyone. So thank you for joining and thank you for watching this video. My name is Alexander and I'm the CEO of the SimplyDepo. So this is the software which serves brands and distributors in the wholesale business of United States. And today we're talking with Tim Sher, who is VP of Sales in the HC Foods. So this is the large distribution company in Los Angeles. And also a couple of words about Tim. So he has like a very different experience from a different field of business in logistics, in the software development, in the warehousing. It's like literally everything, and over the 30 years he have seen a lot. So that is why it's very interesting to talk with him today about what he is doing and about like how he is managing his business. And on top of that, I also would like to mention that he is actually taking the position of the Asian Food Trade Association president in the United States, so which is big and great. So Tim, hello, nice to have you here.
Hi, good morning, Alex, and good evening to you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. So I think the first question would be, can you tell us what you're doing in general? What kind of your daily activities you're managing and what kind of like business challenge you are solving right now?
So currently our family business, HC Foods, we're an importer of Thai food and we distribute mainly to supermarkets with things such as jasmine rice, curry paste, fish sauce, noodles. So things that the retailer or consumers for the home can use, but we do also cross over a little bit into food service, which is we distribute product for restaurants.
Okay, nice. Only that or something on top of that?
For my daily work, I guess if you want to dive a little bit deep, I handle key accounts, which is the mainstream market. As we continue to grow, we're always trying to find brands or products in Southeast Asia that we believe will be the next trending, such as sriracha currently is quite popular. We think that more meal-based stuff such as pad thai or pad siu, or even some of the marinades and sauces will slowly trickle into the market.
I see, I see. Just to also give some insights to our listeners, so can you highlight how many SKUs you operate in your business and how many customers do you have? So then our listeners will understand what size of the business this is.
Okay, to help, we should separate the customers. Currently, we have about 900 Asian supermarket customers across the US.
Wow.
We do ship some products to Mexico, Panama, but mainly it's the main 48 states. As terms of SKUs, we have about 2,000 listed. Ones that we continue to have in stock is about 900 SKUs, so it's quite difficult thing to manage as well. Besides the Asian markets, my part, we have a team that handles 4 sectors, which is like discount stores, which is like 99 cents only, bargain stores like Marshall, Ross, TJ Maxx, club stores. We have, of course, Costco. And then we also have Natural, which is we work with Aldi, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
yes.
not counting those 900, that's quite a robust amount. So I would say we've already reached maybe about close to 10,000 stores on a regular basis.
Wow, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Good. So then the question would be the following. So I know that HC Foods, so this is the family business, right? So how you or your family decided to start this business? What was the triggers?
So I think most of the Southeast Asian, talking about like Thai, Vietnamese, Cambodian, during the Vietnam War, a lot of us had the I don't want to, opportunity sounds kind of nice, but we did have a good opportunity to come to the United States. So we took advantage of the time and come to the United States to start a new life here. Most people came here with little to no money. Being Asian and not knowing America as well, or coming to a new country, most people went into the food business. So you're talking about they open small restaurants or they open small markets. And then to support that, other people went into food distribution, which is what my father and mother did. So that's where we are. And we grew it since 1987. So about
Mhm.
36 years we've been in business.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's serious. All right. So, and how the business is doing so far? So, how do you see the evolving of the business over these years?
It's been quite good. As mentioned, moving into the mainstream, we haven't had a product that is consistent, but it's been trial basis over the last 10 years that I've been here at HC Foods. So we've been testing things out. We have quite a number of products right now being reviewed by some major retailers. Hopefully, if we have this conversation again, I can share with you what the product is.
Mhm.
Usually there's NDA set up with some of these major retailers that you can't disclose what you're selling to them. So yeah, more on that in the near future.
Got it. Got it. All right. So, can you share with us then what do you think right now would be some of the biggest challenges for the brands and distributors? Because these two parties are working pretty close to each other. So,
Yeah,
your understanding of the situation on the market right now.
I think right now there's quite a lot. So take for my issue. So everyone will have some kind of accounting software, such as QuickBooks when you're starting off, or ERP, which is a more robust that will handle inventory, warehousing, and accounting, of course. So there's going to be products like Sage. So that's the one we use right now, but they don't really provide a lot of CRM.
Mhm.
So in the industry, I found now that there's a need. So I've been trying to research or find what I can do to complement our current accounting. Because overall, the system that most distributors and brands use is quite simple. You know, it's just accounting, invoicing, taking orders, and stuff like that. But to really grow, that's one thing that I believe will assist my company and other companies as brands and distributors as well. So I think everyone is looking for something to increase sales, because without sales, I think companies will be at a loss. So I think the most important thing is sales. Of course, there's all the back end that you can't do without, but without
Mhm.
sales, you don't have cash flow and revenue to come in.
Got it.
So
Got it. What do you think like the best way for the brands to start? Because I know like quite often brands are trying to find the first place a distributor, because distributors can bring them already to 100 stores, let's say. But sometimes they also start self-distribution. So what is your take on this? What do you think should be like the first steps?
So fortunately, I had a lot of background in distribution, so I had a little bit of an advantage. So this is a great question to share in case anyone wants to start their own brand. Make sure you start light, meaning don't overspend. Don't think, okay, I'm going to start a brand and then I'm going to get investors because my product is so great. You have to really think more humbly, where it's like, okay, I'm going to start a brand, but I'm going to be able to only use what money or resources I have. Always keep that in mind so then you don't overspend. The other part is make sure that you are able to self-distribute at the beginning. It's quite difficult at first, because as a brand, you kind of want to just concentrate on marketing, creating the right recipe or formula for your beverage, for instance, or you want to make sure that all your ingredients and co-packer that you're using. So for co-packers, you can find them online depending on what you want to do. Like you want to do cookies or drinks or something like that. why I say you want to make sure you have your backyard secure, because I believe that some people grow too fast and then they have to depend on distributors that are outside their state. And that's what
Mhm,
makes it really difficult, because you're really at a loss of what they're doing out there.
mhm,
You could be paying them a retainer and maybe see too slow of a growth where in 6 months you're only in 10 stores or 20 stores. But I found that if you do it in your own city, that you do your sales, because the best person to do your sales is the brand owner or the founder.
mhm,
So you have to just make sure that your city, like I'm in Los Angeles, that you visit all the key accounts. Like, are you going to go after yoga studios, like gyms, or are you going to go after cafes? Are you going to have to go to natural markets? Are you going to go after supermarkets? You'll be surprised at some of the um, I wouldn't say big supermarkets, but some of the small chain ones like that have 3 to 5, they're purchasing, like you're able to be able to talk with the store manager or the buyer a little bit easier. So I want to make sure that if you get your first 100, 200 stores, it's in your backyard, because even if you don't grow, you know you can survive, that your brand will continue to go. So that model is kind of what I've seen with craft beers, where it's like they don't grow too fast, but if they're able to just make sure that 100 venues are using their beer, they'll be okay. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So make sure that you're okay before you expand. So that's my
Got it.
first educational part
Got
about
it.
starting a brand.
And what would be your advice if we're talking about some brand owner who is starting his business in the smaller town? So let's say it's not LA, right? So the population is like much smaller. So how they have to push that product to the market? Obviously, self-distribution will cover just a couple of stores which are around, but what to do next?
Then you would want to try to go. Hopefully, there's a major city inside your state that you
Mm-hmm.
can move to. So you want to continue to slowly spiral out so you can cover a little bit more. So at least you can drive that yourself, that 2, 3 hours away. You know,
Okay.
of course, if you're lucky enough and to live in a major city already, you can use that as your
Mhm.
backyard. But a lot of people, I think if they're really serious, they can start in their own city. Make sure that you get into, maybe, like, unfortunately, like you said, it might be a small city where you're in only a dozen stores. Then
Yeah.
you have to decide, like, are you going to go all in? You know, rather than find a distributor in, let's say, LA or New York, which are great
Mhm.
cities to start brands, and which most of the brands start. Before
Got it.
you dive into moving there, you should also make sure that you have the right market fit for your product. Like, people are
Mhm.
enjoying it, if it's a drink, cafes, whatever it is, and then maybe take a dive and invest. But definitely don't jump too quick to hire a distributor, because they won't know your brand as good. And most distributors, they also, like ourselves, we're handling hundreds of brands, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to spend 8 hours a day on your brand, you
Yeah,
know.
that's true. Mhm.
And I'm not going to tell my salespeople to do the same, because we're busy running our business. So you have to do the legwork. So
Mhm.
I think that's the misconception a lot of uh, distributors say. Unfortunately, I want to kind of share that I feel, in my experience, most of these distributors, they're more customer service and problem solvers, and also delivery. So you would have to do the sales, because I started my own brand thinking like, yeah, I got my product into like a
Mhm.
non-Asian distributor and I thought it was all great. But in the end, that's just the beginning, right? They only can help
Mhm.
support you, which that's why I want to explain now. Like, if you're a brand, do your work. You know what I mean? Do the sales, and then pass the sales on to the distributor to manage, and then continue to open a new account every day, because you're the one that is at risk if you don't get that sales, not the distributor. They're going to be happy, like, no matter what, you know what I mean, because they already have a stable business. So do the hard work, hit the pavement, continue to talk to people, because the feedback you get, you'll be able to know if your product is right or not. Getting feedback from a distributor is always sugar coated, and you never know what the truth is. I could easily tell you, like, yeah, we visited 100 customers today. Do you know? Not really, right? I'm not saying they all lie, but of course, how do you know
Yeah.
what is the real numbers? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is the real feedback? Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So thank you. So we talked a little bit about about brands, but what do you think then for your kind of business, for the distribution business, would be the top challenges, or right now, maybe for the HC Food specifically, if this is not a secret, of course.
So I know Alex quite well. So this is a leading question. So he wants me to tell him that I need to have some kind of front end software. So between brand and distributor, what do we have in common? It's sales, right? We're going to have our own sales team. We're going to have our own merchandising team. So if any of you guys don't know merchandising, or DSD means that rather than doing the sales and just having a driver drop off cases, merchandising and DSD actually walk into the stores. So what do they do when they walk in? Merchandising is it's pretty self-explanatory. They go in there, they grab the box from the storage room, they make sure that your brand is displayed right quite nicely. Some of the big brands that do really well with DSD are usually beer brands, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, soda brands, which is the top two, and then also Lay's potato chip. You'll always see those three groups inside the stores fixing things up. You know what I mean? So those merchandising DSD, they work as a sales slash stocking company. So that's the stuff that we both have in common in terms of brand and distribution. As a distributor, when I'm trying to build up a brand, all we can do is help support you. But in terms of what we have in relation is sales. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And you know, I got like an interesting question. This is still related to brands. So what brands can do in order to improve the relationship with the distributors and have more visibility? Let's even not talk about any kind of software right now, just in terms of relationship. So any advices?
There's two. One is actually good news and the other one's bad news. So let's start with the good news first. A relationship that you can have with the distributor. You can't really have a relationship with the distributor. We're too busy. But what you can do in terms of our brand that I didn't explain before, but it's good because you made me remember, is that the relationship you want is when you approach a new distributor, you want to say, okay, for every account you bring it in, there's going to be an extra bonus commission for the distributor. That's the only kind of relationship I think you can have with them. In terms of, I'm your friend, you're my friend, like we've known each other for 20, 30 years. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you the hard truth that you still have to do the work. I'm not going to do any favors for you or your brand or anything else, because that's what I do. I'm just a distributor. I warehouse stuff, make sure that when the picking list comes, we pick it right and we deliver. That's we're pretty much. I went to a conference and they said distributors are pretty much like UPS. All we do is move boxes.
Yeah.
You know, so if you think of it that way, I think you'll have no misconception of what distributors do. So the bad news is, for the relationship part, is we don't want a relationship with you. I want you to have a relationship with our customers. Why do I want that? Because they're the one placing the order to us. So that's all I want. I don't want any business. I don't need you to come to my office or anything like that. You just continue to go do your sales and then send those orders to me. You know, it doesn't sound great, but that's the non-relationship relationship.
Yeah, I got it. So thank you for the honest answer. I guess like this is the distribution is a tough business, right? So you always have to you know, think about profit, about the process, about what your people are doing, and yeah, there is no emotions in that. So the product should be strong. If the product is not selling well, so then you're just not working with that, right? With that product. Yep. Got it. Okay, so I will come then to my question, which I kept for later. So this is about the software. So we know that we're living in a digital world, and I think distribution and the wholesale business in US, it's really outdated, and the digitalization of this niche is really important, and something what is I think starting to happening right now. So the question would be, what kind of software you think you're using right now, maybe, or you think distributors and brands should use in order to drive their business?
I think the interesting part of technology hardware and software is that things are always changing. And we have to continue to adapt. Just like currently, I have no idea anything about AI. I do understand how it works, but it's going to be the future. If you're a designer or like a printing company or whatever it is that has manual labor, you have to incorporate that into your business. So why I say that is because even though distribution is very hands-on manual, where maybe our truck drivers will become automated trucks, but in the end, you still have to have people deliver and use a forklift, take it off take off the pallet, take different brands or different products off the pallets into the shelves. So that part is always going to be here. It won't be digital, but the part that they would want to be more streamlined is that's changed. Like for instance, in the warehouse, where's that product? So rather than just saying, okay, go find these 10 stuff, and then using your memory, it's going to say, okay, go to pallet position A10, aisle 5, whatever it is. So that part, it's coming. It's always been here now. In terms of software, it's always changing, there's always someone out there that has identified a new problem. And so you're always seeing new inventions for softwares and technology. We haven't even discovered everything, just like myself as well. We're using HubSpot, for instance, because it's for CRM, right? But it's very niche. So sometimes you're going to find that you'll need a couple different software to run your business, so such as now I wanted to find something that will help my field sales CRM. And of course, this interview is hosted by SimplyDepo. So I'm currently quite happy with the software because it's something that was lacking in the back end that we already had. So I think overall, you need to start accepting that things are moving in a different direction. I'm sure my parents wouldn't be able to understand this kind of need or even know where to start. But the next generation is grasping technology faster and faster, so I would say my 4-year-olds are 10 times smarter than me when I was a 4-year-old, like I had no idea what anything was, even in high school. But back then we had pagers. I don't know if anyone knows pagers, but
Got it.
But yeah, you have to accept things need to change, and all it's doing is making your life better, just like smartphones. But it also makes us a little bit too much reliant on technology.
Got it. So another question. So all of the softwares right now, like the consumer software, which we are using our iPhone, etc. So they become like more, let's say, user-friendly, right? More easy to use. What do you think the software for distribution business should be? So should it be still like quite deep and detailed and complicated as the software was like 10, 15 years ago, or it should take the trend and, like run those simplicity? So is it possible to make it really simple for the distribution business?
Yeah, actually, I think things are getting a lot more simple in terms of interface. I recall when we wanted to go mobile, or not mobile, just be able to use a device when we're visiting a customer sales. You had to purchase like this $500, $600 device, But now, because of smartphones getting more and more available, that everything's moving from hardware, so those companies aren't around anymore, to software. So you just use your current phone and you're able to do pretty much everything that big tablet could do. I recall when UPS used to have this big, huge tablet, what I mean? Now I see everyone just uses their phone, with a scanner on the back. So
got it. All right, cool. So, and then the final question, promise you. Okay, so since we already touched software and SimplyDepo, so what works the best for you from the SimplyDepo functionality? Obviously, your business is huge. You're using SimplyDepo for part of it. So what is your favorite feature, or what works the best for you?
I think if you have to take into consideration, people are well, I don't want to say people. I myself are terrible at managing my time. If it's not in my calendar, forget it. It's pretty much it didn't never existed. So I'm very diligent about trying to quickly add any appointments, lunches I have to do, or else I'll forget. Because so we're so reliant on it, to a point where it's like it's our downfall as well. So why I was explaining that is because even now, what I really like about it is your scheduling of customers, in terms of routing. So I have a route set for one of my sales in San Diego and LA. And so he visits the same 20 customers every 2 weeks. So he'll visit. So that helps as well. So I can able to monitor, okay, he's visiting it. He's able to give feedback right away. Like, oh, okay, our product, let's say one of our energy drinks is on the shelf. He'll take a picture and he says, okay, no order. Or he can move on and say, okay, this is order. So he's able to relay that information instantly. And why is that essential in terms of routing and scheduling? Is because then he doesn't need to come back before at night and write a report. And those were always the worst when you're a salesperson, right? It's like, oh, I'm so tired already, and I still need to write a report, or maybe fax the report back. Or right now, you pretty much fax machines are slowly going out as well because we have emails and instant chats. So I think that's a part that I really feel happy about when I first stumbled upon SimplyDepo, is that you guys had a routing system, not in terms of for my driver, but mainly for my sales, because I want them to be proactive. Like, okay, if we have 10 customers now, add another 2 and keep calling them, and then if you have time, add another 3, 4, 5, and that part, I think scheduling is so important for a brand and for myself as a distributor, because without knowing what you do each day, I think there's a lot of unhappy employees. But if you have them on a schedule and all they need to do is just follow, you'll find that retaining them and even moving a new salesperson into the position of a great salesperson is quite easy, because all that information is there. Schedule, customers, CRM, customer relationship marketing, and also pricing, order taking. You have everything that I need, and I'm pretty sure a majority of brands and distributors need. Yeah. So thank you very much, Alex, for having a great product.
Thank you for using it. So all right, so then Tim, once again, thank you for joining us today. So quick reminder to everyone, so today we spoke with Tim Sher, who is the VP of sales at the HC Food, the large distribution company in LA, and also who is the president of the trade association, Asian Food Trade Association in United States. So thank you very much for being with us today, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.